Have you ever noticed in life that when things get hard, we want to give up and we want to quit? But sometimes, actually, maybe all the time, that's actually when it really matters. We're going to talk about the law of the obstacle after this.
Warning, applying these principles may change your life. People will look at you differently. You'll walk straighter, live bolder, and find out who you are. This is the Manlihood Mancast. Here's your host, Josh Hatcher.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Manlihood Mancast. I'm your host, Josh Hatcher, and listen, we are talking about the law of the obstacle. But before we get into that, I just want to thank you for supporting what we're doing here at Manlihood. I know that you guys believe in us, you believe in the work that we're doing, and that is really evidenced by the way that we're seeing an increase in our numbers as people are watching and sharing and interacting with us, and we really appreciate that. Listen, if you appreciate what you're seeing, I want to encourage you to like, comment, follow, subscribe if you're watching this on Facebook. If you're listening on your podcast platform, like it, share it. Share it with somebody that you know would get something out of it. Let's see if we can help make Manlihood something awesome by getting it in front of as many people as possible. And you can help support the vision of Manlihood if you go to manlihood.com/store. That's where you can get some of the books and resources I've created, as well as the Manlihood t-shirt line that we've got. We've got some really cool new t-shirts there, so please go check that out and support that. We've got some more product lines and some cool stuff that we're going to be introducing that we'll be promoting here in the very near future. So please make sure you support us at manlihood.com/store. You know, life is really hard sometimes. You know, we're making progress and then we run into that wall. You know, that wall that just keeps you from wanting to move forward. Maybe it's something bad has happened in your life that literally is stopping you from moving forward. Maybe you've lost somebody or something wrong has happened, or it just gets difficult to continue to press ahead. That happens to all of us from time to time. And it is important to know and understand that sometimes that obstacle is not the enemy. It's not something to be hated or feared. It feels like you're moving forward and there's a bulldozer in your path pushing you backwards. That's how it feels. But let's talk about the reality of the situation. Let's talk about a flipped perspective of this. Let's look at who we can be, what we can become, and what the truth is. So what if those obstacles were not the enemy that we thought they were? What if that hardship was actually something that could help you? Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." I think what needs to happen is a shift in our mindset and the way that we see the world so that we understand that hardship and adversity really needs to be seen as opportunity. Listen to this quote from Napoleon Hill. He says, "Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." You know, it's really easy for us to look at the things we lose or the hardship that we face and to see it as something that is wrong, something that is bad. And it may be bad. There may be negativity. There may be pain. But if we look at it as a challenge, if we look at it as something that's meant to strengthen us, there is something that changes in us. We look at it as the path we're meant to walk. We look at it as the exercise that we're meant to carry out so that we're capable of more. And listen, sometimes we know the reason for our adversity. Sometimes the reason for our hardship is our own foolishness. We're always asking the question, why? Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening? I don't understand. Why are these bad things happening to me? Listen, if I eat Taco Bell at 11 p.m. and I get the runs at midnight, and I'm sitting on the john at midnight and I'm wondering why I have the runs, I really need to be looking at, why did I eat Taco Bell at 11 p.m.? Right? Sometimes, if we really are honest with ourselves, if we take responsibility, if we take ownership, and we look at our situation, we can really truly identify that sometimes the cause of our hardship is our own failures, our own mistakes, our own shortcomings. That is the first step of freedom when it comes to looking at hardship that most people won't do. Most people will not acknowledge or accept that the choices you made have led you where you are. Now, I'm not saying every hardship is because of this, but a lot of hardships are. You're in the position you were in because of the choices you've made. That was one of the hardest lessons for me to learn as a young adult, because it hurt to learn it. It hurt to really fully accept that the financial situation that I was in was because of the way that I was spending my money and the job that I chose to take, and the fact that I chose to have children young. I'm not saying it was a bad choice, but it meant that I had to make a different choice with my finances. And it was hard for me to recognize and accept and understand that. But I made this choice, and so this was the hardship that I had to face. And I think that we are often incapable of really truly seeing that. And it may be helpful to have good people, good men especially in your life, who can call that out and tell you, dude, the reason you're having this problem is because you're an idiot. Or because you made this choice. That's why this is happening. None of us like to hear it in the moment. None of us like to hear it at the time. But sometimes it's the very thing that we need to hear. Now, sometimes we do not know the cause of our hardship. We don't understand where it comes from or why we're facing it. And those moments are harder. And when that question why comes in, if we can't answer that question with, I'm facing this hardship because of my own choices, and if the honest truth is that it's not your own choices, then then you need to really put the why question away, because it doesn't matter why. The next question is, how do I overcome it? How do I rise above it? How do I allow this hardship to make me stronger? I'm not saying that every hardship is divinely or cosmically inspired to make life difficult for you. I'm not saying that God is up in heaven throwing thunderbolts at you to make your life difficult. I don't believe that every hard thing you go through is the result of God testing you. I want to make that very clear. There are all kinds of reasons that hardship happens. And I think that if you ask the why question beyond your own situation, beyond your own cause, I think that what happens is you get fixated on blaming somebody and not fixated on solving problems and not fixated on strengthening yourself. Oftentimes we look at life itself as this malevolent force that happens to us, that causes things to happen to us. Just life causes things to happen to us. And we'll blame God, or we'll blame the man or the system, or we'll blame whatever for our problems. I think the best perspective and the first shift that has to happen is, once we've eliminated the fact that maybe our problem is our own problem, then we have to start looking at it as opportunity. How can I rise above? How can I learn from this? How can this shape me? I think that shift is going to make all the difference in the world for us, guys. What's happened is we are blame shifting, we are pointing fingers, we are saying, oh, woe is me, and we're not rising up. The right question about hardship is, how is this strengthening me? That's a harder question to ask, but it's really the one that matters, because since the beginning of time, bad things have been happening. Ever since the fall of man and ever since brokenness entered the universe, bad things have happened. And we have to be the ones to choose how we're going to let those bad things shape us. If you've ever watched the metamorphosis process as a butterfly hatches from its cocoon, and you see it struggling as it struggles to break free from the cocoon and its wings are struggling, that struggle itself is so vital, because if you open it and try to help that butterfly out of his cocoon, what'll happen is his wings will not be strong enough for him to survive. The same thing is true of baby birds when they're hatching from their eggs. If you see that baby is in the egg and he's trying to break his way out and you help him by breaking the egg, you know what happens? That bird doesn't develop the strength it needs to thrive and to survive. I think it's very possible and very true that in our culture, we have eliminated hardship from our life. Much hardship. We used to have to work in the fields to be able to put food on the table. Work day and night. Maybe we had to work a job somewhere else to be able to afford the house that we live in and then work in the fields in the evening to put the food itself on the table. Little House on the Prairie stuff, guys. Life was hard back in the day, and life is now a lot easier. And that's not to say that we have zero hardship. We do have some hardship in our life. But maybe we've eliminated so much in the pursuit of comfort, in the pursuit of ease, that we're not allowing the next generation to face the hardships that need to happen so that they can grow. As a parent, part of your job is to introduce controlled doses of hardship into their life, to give them challenges to overcome. And the same thing is true of your own life. Introduce challenges into your life for you to overcome. Set a lofty goal and then make it happen. I've got a couple more quotes for you. This one is from William Arthur Ward. Adversity causes some men to break and others to break records. And Bob Riley says, hard times don't create heroes. It is during the hard times when the hero within us is revealed. And this is very true, guys. I truly believe that there is a hero in you. There is a hero in me. There is a hero in us. And that hero is just waiting to be tested and tried and given the opportunity to rise up. For that to happen, we have to do something hard. We have to break out of our cocoon and we have to fight to get it off our wings so that they can be strengthened so that we can fly. But it's not going to happen if you sit on your couch, if you lay back and do nothing, if you don't fight for what you need to do. This is what I truly and firmly believe, that adversity, that hardship, the obstacle, it is the way. It is the law. It is the thing that we should be doing, that we should be fighting for. And I hope that we can, rather than eliminate them from our lives, that we can conquer them and see that the act of conquering it has made us something better. Anyway, guys, if you appreciate what we're doing here at Manlihood, I want you to leave us a review on iTunes or give us a like, a comment, or subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Please share it on social media. Tell a friend. I love you guys. I care about you. And I'll see you next time.
If you want to be a better man, check out our website, manlihood.com, for blogs, videos, and more from our Manlihood team. And you can also join our private Facebook group, Manlihood Man Cave, where you can meet up with a band of brothers who will challenge you and help you on your journey of manhood. This episode is produced by Hatcher Media for manlihood.com. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to the show. Tune in again for more of the Manlihood Mancast.